2024 CR 0111095. State versus Luis Fernando Acura. Can I have parties announced?
Hector Rhodes Jr. for the defense.
And are you Mr. Acura?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you all waived PSI in this case. I took a plea of no contest from you to count one on March 17th, and it was originally set for April 10th for sentencing, but then there were other issues. I believe the court was in trial or attorneys were in trial. And so now it's being called today for sentencing. Are both parties ready to proceed, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense.
We are.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. The state is going to be silent on your application for deferred adjudication. Taken in consideration was NIMAG number 760070. All right. So defense, do you have any witnesses?
We do, Your Honor. We have 6 total.
All right, you may call your first witness.
We'd like to start with Dulce Okura.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
My name is Dulce Okura.
All right, so I'm going to need you to make sure that you keep your voice up because the court reporter needs to hear and I need to hear, okay?
Okay.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Ms. Dulce, how are you familiar with Luis?
He's my nephew.
And so clearly you've known him all your life.
Correct.
Now, how often do you interact with Luis?
Very often I see them like every week.
Okay. How would you describe Luis?
He is a very affable and dependable person. So when you need assistance, like he'll be there to help you.
Okay. Now, he's only 18 years old.
Mhm.
How would you describe him through high school?
Through high school, I know he was very into like computers. So he was taking computer courses. So I know he was doing that as well as.
Just one moment, excuse me.
Is that microphone on?
Yes.
Do you need it on or off?
Might just need, can you put this mic on your, thank you.
Ma'am, sorry, and I'm having a hard time hearing you. If you could just speak up a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start over. So I've just sworn you in.
Mhm.
State your name for the record.
Okay. My name is Dulce Okura.
Defense.
So, again, how do you know Luis?
He's my nephew.
And so you've totally.
All right, and let me just tell you, it will probably help. I know you're turning that way because you're speaking to him, but don't turn your back to the court reporter.
Okay.
If you just face forward to me, everybody can hear.
Okay.
Thank you, Bashan.
Maybe that.
And so you've known Luis his entire life.
Correct.
How often do you interact with him?
Every week.
And can you describe the typical interaction that you would have?
Yes, well, depending on the week, sometimes we'll go out and like family gatherings, or I'll take him out to like certain stores. So we'll hang out.
Okay. Now, I had asked you if you could describe him through high school.
Yeah, so through high school, from my knowledge, he was into computers, so he was taking like computer courses. Personality wise, he's been the same throughout from like since I've known him, since he was little and as he grew up. So same affable person, dependable person.
Now, how would you describe his personality?
The same thing, affable, dependable. He provides assistance when you need him, very charismatic.
Now, you understand that you're here because of the assault that he caused,
Correct.
or that he was involved with.
Yes.
Now, and what was your first impression when you learned of the situation?
I was shocked and upset. I've never expected that to happen.
Okay. Now, were you aware that he was consuming alcohol at that time of his life?
No.
Okay. Now, he was 17 when the incident happened. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. And you weren't aware that he was drinking?
I had heard about it like once prior, but that was the only time I heard about it.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to speak to him about what happened after?
Yes.
And can you describe how that conversation went?
Yes. When I spoke to him, I spoke with him with my mother, with his grandmother. We explained to him that what he did was something that, he should reflect on because it's going to affect his life then moving forward, and that we're there to help him whenever he needs assistance, and if he needs to talk to someone, like, he has us to speak with.
Okay. Now, you say you were shocked when this happened.
Mhm.
Had he ever exhibited any kind of behavior prior to the incident that would lead you to believe that he would have done something?
No, that's the reason why I was shocked, because I've never, imagined that he would do something like this.
Okay. Now, you said that you all spoke to him about supporting him if he needed any help. And equally that you've told him this is going to affect his life.
Mhm.
So is it fair to say then that you've pretty much obligated him to accept and acknowledge what he's done?
Correct, because it's not going to go away. It's something that he did, and it's something he has to reflect on.
Now, in the event that this court allows him to do deferred probation, he's going to have a lot of hoops to jump through. You understand that?
Yes.
And what would you express to the court that you would do for him to make certain that he completes his probation successfully?
Well, depending on, his probation, we'll make sure that he completes it. If he needs to go somewhere a certain day, we'll make sure that someone's there available for him. So someone will be available for him like anytime he needs.
And now, in the event that you were to witness Luis start slipping, or start drinking, or start doing the things that he shouldn't be, are you prepared to report him to his probation officer or to this court to let them know that he's messing up?
Yes.
Would you be prepared to hold him accountable in the event that he messes up?
Yes, he'll always be held accountable.
That's not fair.
All right, any questions?
Just briefly, Ms. Okura, so Mr. Okura is your nephew, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I guess it sounds like you guys have a pretty close knit family, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and so I guess my question to you is what would be the difference between now and when the offense was committed? Because it sounds like you guys have been there for him throughout his high school and life. So what would be the difference between then and now?
Well, the difference is that now he's staying in our in our household, because he before was like half and half, like half with his mother, half with his our family. So now he's with us, and there's always someone at home, so we always know where he is and what he's doing.
Okay, so when you say now that he's in your household, that means that he's living with you and your mother?
He's living with my brother because I moved out, but he's not my brother.
And your brother's his father?
Yes.
Okay, and before that, you're saying he was living with his mother?
Well, half and half. So
okay.
One week there and 1 week.
Okay, so you feel like with your brother and you being there and your mom as well, you would be able to hold him more accountable than when he was going with his mom?
Correct. And my mother keeps a tight hold on where he's at, always asking where he's at, calling him. Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Judge.
All right, I have a question. So where did his go wrong? Why are we here? That's what I want to know, if you know or have any ideas.
I don't. What I told him is if he has any problems, he has his family, he has me, my brothers to talk to, so we can walk him through something better than for him to go down the path of drinking or doing anything that shouldn't be done. There's better recourses if people have problems.
Anything else?
Nothing for you.
All right, thank you so much for coming down.
I'll take it. Thank you.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, please. State your name for the record.
Domingo Cura Jr.
All right, defense?
Thank you. Now, Domingo, how are you familiar with Luis?
He's my nephew,
Okay. Now, where do you currently reside?
and with my brother at the house.
Okay.
With Luis.
All right, and so you live in your brother's house.
Yes.
Now, is the house a pretty big house?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Okay, and so everybody has enough space, has their own room.
Yeah, we all have our own.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna ask you a lot of the same questions I asked, Lute. How would you describe police?
I still see him as like my little nephew. So he's always been honest, upfront. If he needs to say something, he'll ask, or very respectful too. So all this kind of came as a surprise.
Okay. Now, how would you describe him through high school?
I mean, I know he had his close group friends, so we would always talk to them, kind of active with them, like playing video games, so like team games.
Okay. What was your reaction when you learned of the incident that had happened?
Surprised. Everything that kind of led up to that, his upbringing, high school, none of that led to what happened on that day. So no one expected it. Didn't know that was going to be happening.
Prior to that incident, had you seen any signs of him that would have led you to believe that he would have assaulted someone?
No.
Now, were you aware that he was consuming alcohol during those times when the incident happened?
No.
Okay. Now, the judge had asked Gutse, and I'll ask you now, do you have any idea what went wrong that day or leading up to that day that would have caused him to do what he did?
No, I don't know what went wrong. How led up to that day.
Okay. How often do you interact with Lee?
Almost every day.
Okay. Well, so what is your work schedule?
I go in at 12 p.m. and I get out at 11 p.m.
Okay. So do y'all see each other daily?
In the mornings, and then if I get out and I get home, sometimes I'll be out. So
Okay. So I'll ask you, going forward, now unfortunately we're at this situation. How do you intend to help Luis stay on track with what he's supposed to do?
I am off Fridays, Friday through Sunday. So on those days I will be able to help out. In the mornings if I do see him, we do talk in the morning. So hopefully we'll be able to open up and be able to talk about anything that he needs to talk about.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to talk to him about the situation?
Yes.
And how did that conversation go?
I did let him know that what he did already happened. He does have to reflect on it and kind of think about why he did it and what he's going to do different going forward. We can't change the past. We can just kind of learn from there and see what we can do going forward.
Okay. And in the event that he were to start slipping or going off the rails, so to speak, are you prepared to inform his probation officer or this court and report him for not doing what he's supposed to be doing?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you heard the questions to your sister about you all sound like a really tight family, especially living in the big house. Any ideas of things that you would say you could do that you didn't do in the past to better stay in communication with Luis to make certain that this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I can be a little bit more open, be more available for him. I felt like I was available for him before, but again, everything caught us by surprise, and I wasn't expecting that. So if he does need something, I want him to know that we are here for him.
Okay. Well, Pastor.
Mr. Okuda, are you familiar with the facts of the case at all, or just that an assault occurred?
I'm aware of that. So,
So, the defendant has explained to you how it happened.
he had brought a case, so we brought some documents over, and I was reading over it.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, could you speak up a little bit? I missed your answer.
Okay, so you're aware that, what was reported is that there were two homeless people that Mr. Okuda approached for no reason, and he retrieved a metal pole and assaulted one of them so bad that he had to go to the hospital.
May I have a quick second?
Sure.
Okay, so one person that was hit with a metal pole and had to go to the hospital.
Yes, I was with him.
Okay. And so I guess it's your testimony that that's kind of out of character for him.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess what exactly would you be able to do besides talking to him, that would be able to help him comply with the terms of his probation if this court grants him probation?
Well, my job isn't super flexible, but it is understanding. Like today, I did ask for PTO. I did go over that time. It was only till 3 p.m. I did inform them of what's going on. So they do understand what's going on. That's why it's what's happening here. Not too much detail, but if something does come up where I need to take them somewhere and something needs to be done, I'll be able to do it before him.
Okay. And I know you testified that you kind of spoke with Mr. Okuda and you told him what happened is something that he needs to reflect on, but do you think that he needs to be held accountable for his actions?
Yeah, some sort of kind of.
Okay. Will you pass the witness, Your Honor?
All right, any further questions?
No,
All right, thank you so much for coming in. All right, could you raise your right hand for me? Oh, I'm sorry, they have a microphone for the court reporter. Would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Desiree Cura.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
okay. And Mr. Buda, how are you related to Luis?
He is my stepson.
Okay, and you live in the same home that he does?
Yes.
And so can you describe your daily interactions with him?
Oh, I see him every day.
Okay, mornings?
Usually in the morning, he's waiting for his dad to go to work. And then in the evening, I work an 8 to 5 job. So I always see him when I'm done with work.
Okay. You all speak in the evening?
Yes.
Okay. How would you describe your relationship with Luis?
It's great. I mean, we, play family games together. We laugh, we talk, just cook, eat.
Yeah. Now, how would you describe Luis in high school?
In high school, he loved to play video games. He was very into electronics, computers. He was still open, funny.
Now, grade-wise, how did you do in school?
I'm not too sure about his grades. I never really asked him questions like that, like what his grades were, because I know he was back and forth with his parents and stuff. So I didn't ask him
Okay.
about that.
Now, leading up to the incident that happened, did you see anything in his behavior or his personality that would have changed that lead you to believe that something could be wrong?
No, not at all.
And what was your first reaction when you learned of this?
I was shocked and disappointed.
Disappointed? Why?
Because I know that he knows the difference between right and wrong, and that was something that he shouldn't have been doing, but completely not in his character to do so.
Okay. Now, were you aware that he was drinking or consuming alcohol at the time, either maybe a little before or sometime before the incident happened?
I only knew about it because my husband and I talked, about everything. So he had told me that about that night, but not prior.
Okay. And you were asked, are you aware of what happened at the incident or what Luis did?
I just know some vague details. I don't know everything.
Okay. And you're not sure if you heard earlier, but you were not aware that he assaulted a homeless person?
I knew about that, but only because of speaking to my husband.
Okay. Now, going forward, what would you say you could bring to Luis to make sure that he stays on the right path and that he is successful with probation in the event that this court grants him probation?
In my job, I do have the flexibility to leave at any point in time. So if there was ever something, that he needed, whether it was a phone call because he's, feeling depressed or sad or anything, he knows that he can always call me. I can leave at any time. So if there's any appointments that he needs to go to, I can always be there for him. And I feel like I bring a different perspective, being a step parent. I'm kind of like in middle Switzerland, kind of seeing both sides of the spectrum.
Now, you said that he used to be really open. Have you seen a difference in his personality since this has happened?
I feel like he's opened up a lot more. He's always out talking and funny and laughing and
Okay. Now, have you had an opportunity to talk to him about the incident?
no,
Okay. Have you all had an opportunity to talk about how he feels now past the incident and having to deal with all the legal stuff?
yes.
And how would you describe that conversation?
I know he feels remorseful and I know he knows, that what he did was wrong. But he knows he needs to. Stay on the right path.
Okay. And what could you share with this court that you would do to make certain that Luis stays on the right path and is successful in probation if the court were to grant him probation?
I know that he would make sure that he follows all of the rules of the probation and make sure that if there was any check-ins that he needed to do or anything like that, that he would obey by them. And if I felt that he was not obeying by them or anything, I would not have a problem contacting somebody and letting them know.
Okay, well, you kind of took my last question. We'll pass the witness.
Just really quickly, Ms. Okuda, you stated in the mornings, your stepson, he waits for his dad. Do they work together or?
Yes.
Okay, and what do they do for work?
My husband owns his company. He does HVAC and construction. So his son helps him.
Okay, about how long has your stepson been doing
I would say since high school.
that? Okay. Now regarding your household, I mean, do you keep alcohol in your household?
No, not really.
Okay, so do you know where Mr. Okuda consumed the alcohol that he was under the influence of on the night of the offense?
No.
Okay, and I mean, if this court were to grant probation in this case, would you be prepared to not have alcohol in your home?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. We pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you.
All right, call your next witness.
Azriel Barrios.
All right, if you'll wear the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Actually, yes.
You just want to hold it? He can hold it. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Azrael Barrios.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you. Now, Azriel, how do you know Luis?
He's my friend from school
And how long have you known him?
since the 7th grade.
7th grade?
Yes.
And how would you describe Luis? If somebody asked you, hey man, tell me about him, paint me a picture of Luis.
Very caring, and he's always just there for you whenever you need him.
Now, do y'all go to high school together?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and where did y'all go to school?
Thomas Edison High School.
All right. Now, how often would you see Luis?
Every day. And
Okay.
lunch.
Did y'all speak during school and after school?
Yes.
All right. Now, you learned of the incident that happened.
Mhm.
What was your first impression when you heard about it?
Mainly disappointed in him
Why would you say that?
because it's just not the kind of person he is.
Now, he was with somebody else when this happened.
Yes.
Were you familiar with who that other person was?
Hardly.
Okay. But you knew of him.
Yes, I know about.
And how did you feel about that person?
I never really stuck around him because I know what kind of person he was, but I don't know. I just never really got around him much.
Did you ever share any of that with Luis?
Yes.
And how did those conversations go?
He understood me a lot.
Okay. Now, did you know that he was drinking alcohol about the time that the incident happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever talk to him about why he was drinking?
No.
Now, the incident happened, or let me ask you, y'all both graduated high school?
Yes.
And so what are you doing now?
Right now I'm unemployed, but currently trying to get into dental assistance.
Okay. And what part of town do you live in?
Right near North Star Mall.
Okay. And where does Lisa live at?
Marble? Off Marble.
Okay, so y'all are a pretty good distance away from each other. Do y'all still stay in contact now?
Yes, every day.
Okay, so you speak to him every day?
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to talk to him about the incident?
Yes.
And can you describe how that conversation went?
I was just like asking him why he would do something like that. And he said he would like, he don't know what got into him that day.
Okay. Did you see any signs in him that would have led you to believe that he was potentially going to do something like that?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, going forward from this point, well, from the incident till now, would you say that you've seen any kind of difference in him?
Yes. He's more self-aware, I guess.
Okay. And going forward, would you be there to help him and make sure that he stays on track with probation in the event that this court grants him probation?
Yes, sir.
And how would you contend to do that?
Well, from the start, I've pretty much been on top of what he's done before. But I'll continue doing it.
Okay. And in the event that you were to learn that he was doing something wrong or stepping on, going off the rail, so to speak, would you be ready to report him either to this court or his probation officer?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any problem holding him accountable, not just for what he's done, but to pay his debt to society, so to speak, through the probation?
Yes, sir.
We'll pass the witness.
Mr. Barrios, so if I'm understanding correctly, you're aware of the person that Mr. Okuda was hanging out with on the night that the assault occurred. Okay, and you had previously talked to him about how you thought this person was a bad influence, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so Mr. Okuda still chose to hang out with that person after
Yes.
you spoke with him?
After the incident, he really never
Spoke with that
spoke to him
person, okay.
often.
So, I mean, if he didn't listen to you back then when you were trying to deter him from hanging out with this person, do you think if he was granted probation and he was messing up that he would listen to you now?
Yes.
What's the difference between now and then?
Because he knows that I'm always like there for him, I guess, since I'm doing this.
We pass the witness, Judge.
All right, any further questions?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you so much. I'll call your next witness.
Priscilla Galindo?
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Priscilla Galindo.
All right, defense.
And Priscilla, how are you related to me?
He's my son.
Okay. Now, you heard some of the testimony earlier. I guess throughout high school, Luis was, I guess, sharing his time between yourself and his father.
Yes, he's would regularly be 1 week with me and 1 week with his father.
Okay. And how would you describe him through high school?
He is always been a calm boy, very polite. He always accommodates to help other people, and he's very playful. He gets along with his with everybody in the family, with his side, his dad's side and my side.
Now, did you have a chance to speak to him about what happened?
Yes, I did.
And how would you describe that conversation?
He knows that I have always told him I'm sorry, every act has a consequence, and we talked, and he has remorse as what he did, and he understands that he did something wrong.
Now, are you familiar with what he did?
Yes,
And you're aware that he attacked a homeless person,
yes, I am.
hurt him bad enough that he needed to be taken to the hospital.
Yes.
Okay. Now, would you say that you saw anything in his behavior or his personality or his conduct leading up to the incident that would have caused you to believe something was wrong?
No, because like I said, that he has always been helpful with everybody. It actually took me from surprise because when we are driving, he actually gives money also to the homeless. So that's something that caught me off in surprise at what had happened that day.
Now, were you aware that he was drinking alcohol at the days or times leading up to the incident?
Only one time. And it was when he had asked me for permission to go to a party. And when I picked him up, he was intoxicated.
And did you talk to him about that?
Yes, I did.
And did you,
His dad and myself talked to him about it. That moment when I picked him up, I called his father and let him know how I had picked him up from that party.
okay, and was he grounded or was there any consequences?
Yes, he was grounded and there were consequences. And we spoke to him that he wasn't supposed to be doing that and he wasn't at the edge of consuming alcohol either.
Now, when the incident happened, it happened in the evening. Well, let me back up. When the incident happened, was he staying with you or with his father?
He was staying with both of us at that time.
Okay, and that night, did anybody know where he was at?
Yes, that night he was at my house and I live with, you can say I live kind of with my parents. My parents have their house in the front and then they have two different apartments. And since those apartments where I live, there's only 2 bedrooms. So he would stay at my mother's house and he had his room there. And then my daughter would stay with me because she had her own room there.
Okay, so separate dwellings but same property.
Yes.
So did you know that he was out with that?
No, until I received a phone call at midnight from a police officer that he was getting arrested. And I asked the police officer, why was he getting arrested? And he mentioned that he didn't know at the moment because they were trying to figure out what had happened.
Okay. Now, what would you say, if any, is there been a difference in him since the incident till now?
He has been calling and reporting with his probation officer. He doesn't hang around with that person anymore that he was hanging around at that time. As far as his friend has told him at that time, we explained to him that he wasn't a very good person for him to be friends with, that he wasn't actually his friend. And we have to look with his father, and I have spoken with him and gone over with him that event, that it wasn't right for him to do that. And I've seen him that he is very more opened up to us because before it was very hard for him to open up with us.
Now, have y'all spoken about the situation as far as today, that just the way he may be granted probation, he could potentially also be denied probation?
Yes, correct.
And did y'all speak about that?
Yes, we did.
And what was his response, or what was the conversation like?
That he knew that he did wrongful and that he will assume all the consequences that he will get granted.
Now, in the event that this court does grant him probation, what can you do, or would you assure the court that you will do to make certain that he is successful in probation?
We both are very supportive with him. So he does work with his dad, and his dad has called me, hey, can you come and pick him up to take him to the appointment and stuff like that. He knows that any call away, I can go ahead and move myself and pick myself up and go get him and take him. Every time that we have left court as well, sometimes he does leave with me, and what he does is walk out, grab that phone and call the bonds and call his probation officer. So he's been very on top of his stuff. And as far as I know, it's been almost a year or about a year, and he has not gotten in trouble. So that also can let you know that he has learned his lesson.
Now, in the event that he starts to go wrong, goes off the rails, so to speak, are you prepared to report him to his probation officer or this court if he does start messing up again?
Yes, because like I had mentioned before, I have always has told him every act has a consequence, and he is aware.
We'll pass it over, sir.
Any questions?
Ms. Galindo, I just have some questions. So you said the night that the offense occurred, the police called you, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you had to provide them with your son's date of birth. Do you remember that?
Yes, they did.
Okay. And so you were able to provide that or them that information because he couldn't provide it at that time because he was intoxicated. Is that fair to say?
Correct. They asked me for my full name, they asked me for my address, and they asked me for his full name, they asked me for his date of birth, and I gave them the information.
Okay. No further questions, Judge.
All right. Thank you so much for giving me some insight. If you'll leave the microphone, you can call your next witness.
Our last witness, Judge, will be Luis J. Okuda.
All right. If you'll come forward. Okay.
All right.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Luis Javier Okuda.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you. And Mr. Okuda, how are you related to Luis?
I'm his father.
Now, how would you describe Luis through high school?
Throughout high school, I mean, he never got into any issues as far as any issues with his classmates or anything like that. He's always on top of things, trying to help out people and things like that. So,
How would you describe his personality?
his personality, sometimes he can be stubborn. He's always trying to accomplish the things that he puts out to, as far as whatever he sets his mind to, he'll try to overcome that as well.
Now, when you learned of the incident, what was your initial response or your initial feeling?
I was disappointed and upset with him.
Okay. Did you have a chance to talk to him about the incident?
Yes, I have.
And how would you describe that conversation?
When I spoke to him about the incident, I explained to him, I mean, there was no reason for him to put his hands on anybody. When I spoke to him, he is fully aware of what the outcome and everything that can happen today. But yeah, he is remorseful as far as all of that is concerned.
Now, we heard that since the incident happened, he's come to live with you full time.
Correct.
Is that something you and Priscilla spoke about?
Correct.
And how did y'all come up with that decision?
I mentioned that to his mom, just because I know his friend lives around that area, and at my house, I have a strict curfew on him. When he's at my house, I have security cameras everywhere, and I keep a close eye on him as far as what needs to get done. And that was the conversation with his mom, that I think it would be best if he would just move over to my house full time.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, well, it sounds like there's a lot stricter parameters on him now.
Correct.
What would be the difference before the incident to now, would you say, your approach with him?
The difference is, he's going to work with me constantly every day. I have a close eye on what he does. And the difference is that, we're open as far as how we talk to each other a little bit more. Before, he was kind of shy as far as about talking his personal issues and things like that. And today I feel that he's a whole lot more open as far as his communication skills are concerned.
Okay. Now, you said you've talked to him about the incident. How would you describe his mindset or his view on what he did?
His mindset, he's fully aware of what he did. I did scold him as far as what he did. I did tell him that he had never had put his hands on absolutely anybody. And As far as that incident, when we spoke about it, he is taking the necessary actions to better himself as far as that's concerned.
Now, you and I and your son sat in my office and watched videos of what happened.
Correct.
And you're fully aware of what he did.
Yes.
You're aware of the condition of the gentleman that he assaulted.
Correct.
And what is your take on what he did?
My take on what he did, like I stated, I mean, it's very disappointing that he did that. I mean, I always try to talk to him as far as what he needs to do. And like I stated, I mean, I have always told him never to put his hands on somebody. And that's pretty much it. Just disappointed as far as what happened that day.
Now, while you can never predict what people are going to do, just the way you couldn't predict that he was going to do what he did this time. But in your gut, in your heart, do you believe this is something that could potentially even repeat itself?
I mean, that's a hard question. I know after speaking to him, he's fully aware of all the consequences that have occurred and everything that can happen here today. And I feel like that something like this is not going to happen again, just because he's aware of what can happen. And I mean, he has all the family support that he needs to move forward.
And lastly, I mean, I think we clearly heard that you're going to be there watching him almost daily.
Correct.
To make certain that he's successful in probation.
Correct.
But if you were to start slipping and messing up, are you prepared to hold him accountable and report him to his probation officer or this court and have him punished even further if that's what needs to happen?
Correct. Yeah, he would get a scolding from me first, and then I would report everything that he did as far as that's concerned.
Best witness.
No questions, Judge.
All right, thank you so much for coming in. Do you have any other witnesses?
Just my client himself. Judge.
All right, if you'll come forward. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, you may proceed, counsel.
Thank you. Now, Luis, rather than ask you questions, is there a statement or something you would like to tell this court in reference to everything that is going on here today?
Yes. Your Honor, I just would like to say that I've never been in a situation like this. My mom has always taught me to look out for those who are in need. And when I found out with what I did and I saw the pictures,
What do you mean when you found out what you did?
I didn't really remember that night until the next day.
Okay.
And when I went to my attorney and he showed me the pictures and the video, I was shocked. I was disappointed in myself because I just couldn't believe what I did. And like my dad and my mom said, every action has a consequence. I'm prepared and willing to accept whatever the outcome of this court today. I have also started going to anger management classes. And yesterday was actually my first meeting because they didn't have an available on the register until yesterday. And I have also done EPA. It's a 608 EPA test, which is allows me to purchase refrigerant and recycle it, reclaim it, and also, I forgot what the other R was. But, I want to continue to be out here, to contribute and be with my family. I want to be a contractor just like my dad. So I want to keep studying to be a contractor. I want to do HVAC and electrical. And those are the first two licenses I'm planning on getting.
Now, let me ask you, so were you drinking the night that this happened?
Yes, I was.
And were you drunk at the time that it happened?
Yes.
And that's why you don't remember what happened?
Yes, I think I blacked out.
Now, you heard Azariah talk to you about this person that you were hanging out with.
Yes.
So he warned you about this guy,
Yes, he did.
but you still hung out.
Yes.
Why?
It's more of he was the closest person to me. He asked me to hang out that night, and I was up, and I was just, I guess I was bored just being up, and I went out and I hung out with him.
Now you're living with your dad,
Sure.
and you heard your dad say that he keeps a really strict eye on you.
Yes.
He has a curfew for you.
Yeah, every time I go out with my friends, I have to be back by 10.
Now, how do you feel about him basically treating you like you were still 16 or something and having a curfew and watching you?
Well, I think it's a good thing. I'm able to make my own decisions, but I feel like he's just looking out for me and wants the best for me.
Okay. Now, you're 18 now,
Correct.
and if you're on probation, you understand that potentially it's going to be a long probation or a long deferred probation.
Yes.
And are you prepared to allow your father to continue with his restrictions on you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you signed up for the anger management course. Is this the document they gave you?
I was also supposed to sign up for 2 other classes that they have here. One of them being the healthy relationship class, which helps you maintain and build healthy relationships with people. And the other would be the drug recovery class, which they talk about the things that the substances you take do to your body and help you recover from them.
Now, they circled class 5. Why did they circle class 5?
Because at the time when I went in, that's the session that they were on. They were on session 5. And the facilitator for the program told me that next week I would take chapter 6. And then going forward, I would go back to 1, 2, and 3, and then 4.
Now, I don't know if you care to say.
No, I'm good.
Now, you're building, trying to move forward. You hear everybody saying that they're going to be there for you. How do we make sure that what happened that night doesn't happen again?
Well, like I said, I'm going to take this drug recovery class. I'm no longer drinking, no longer smoking, because at the time I was smoking too. So, like they said, I'm very open now. I'm not very good. I wasn't very good at sharing my feelings and how I feel, but now I feel like I'm getting better at that, and I have a lot of people I could talk to if I ever have an issue.
Now, you work with your dad. How often are you working with him?
Pretty much every day except Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay. And what are typically your work hours?
From like 8 to like 2, sometimes even later, but no later than 5.
Okay. And he's helping you make time to get to your appointments or reporting or whatever you need to do?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just want to make sure we're clear, the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency 608 Clean Air Act has to do with refrigeration.
Yes.
And you've taken the initial test for that.
Yeah, I took the test last week, and I'm just waiting for them to get back with me with the certification.
Now, how is that going to help you working with your father?
I'll be able to purchase refrigerant if he ever needs me to. He could send me to the store and I can get material, the material that he needs, such as the refrigerant, contactors, any part to fix the AC unit. He can send me to go get that.
Now, does that have any kind of certification as far as working on the units themselves, or is that something different?
Yeah, with the EPA 608 certification, I can pump the unit up with refrigerant as well as recycle it, take it out, put it into the tank, and then take it to dispose it somewhere else.
Okay. Now, if you're granted probation or deferred probation, we talked about there's going to be community service, there's going to be fines, there's going to be classes, there's going to be a whole list of things that it's going to be expected of you. And are you prepared to engage and complete all the requirements that this court may place upon you?
Yes, I'm prepared. My dad's schedule is very flexible, so if I ever need to check in somewhere or go somewhere, he'll be able to take me.
Now, you heard your mom saying that she could move around at a moment's notice. Have you relied on her or asked her for help here in the recent past?
Yeah, the other day she took me to my anger management.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to share with the court?
No.
We'll pass the witness.
Any questions?
I just have a couple of questions, Mr. Okuda. And I'm really just trying to figure out what happened that night. So how did you come into possession of alcohol on that day?
There was a guy outside the corner store that I asked him and he bought it.
Okay. And so it's your testimony that you're not consuming alcohol anymore. Okay, and you're not around alcohol anymore. Okay, and then I was going to ask you about the smoking. Thanks for being honest about that. But you're not doing that
I
anymore.
haven't smoked since last year, November.
Okay. And I guess just as far as, I mean, because you're with two other people that night, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so, I mean, one of them had a firearm. Did you know that he was going to have a firearm that night?
Yes, I was with him.
And why were you hanging out with him?
Like I said, I was just bored, just looking for something to do, and he invited me over to hang out. So,
I mean, you realize that that's not a good choice that you made that day, right?
yeah, I'm just,
Okay, and I mean, are you prepared to take the steps forward that you need to be held accountable for what happened that night?
yeah, I said I would be held accountable. I said I would take full responsibility for what happens.
Okay. No questions. No further questions, Judge.
All right. This is what I don't think people realize. And I'm going to tell you my thought process right now. And if I'm incorrect in my thought process, let me know. Sometimes people will drink, they get intoxicated, they drive, they hit somebody, right? In your situation, you're telling the court, I'm intoxicated. I see two homeless people. They're not bothering anybody. And I go up and attack them. And I know that sometimes people are upset with homeless people, but the key to homeless people, you know what the key is? They're people without any homes, and they already have it rough, right? Maybe they're living on the streets because they've made that choice. Maybe they're living on the street because they have mental health issues. Maybe they're living on the street because they're addicted to drugs. Maybe they're living on the street because they choose to say, you know what, I'm going to be a nomad. But I don't think any homeless person is like, you know what, I want to be on the streets and I'm expecting somebody to beat me up. And what's bad about your case is that according to the police reports and the stipulation, they're just these two homeless people. They're in a vacant lot. So vacant lot means there's not a business going on there. They're just hanging out in a vacant lot, minding their own business. And guys come up that's you and your other friends, and start beating the guy with a metal pole for no reason. And then the other homeless person tries to intervene, trying to say, hey, hey, stop. And then what ends up happening? That person ends up getting beat up. And then another person you're with pulls out a gun when somebody else tries to help, saying, hey, stop. And then the police can't even talk to the first victim. And the reason why they can't talk to him, because he's unconscious, because you beat him upside the head with a metal pipe. And so on top of the fact that whatever trauma that person is dealing with and they're homeless, who knows, maybe their mom didn't love them, maybe they're addicted to drugs, maybe they have mental health issues. But I don't think people realize enough with the homeless people. Number one, do you know how difficult it is to be homeless? Let me just tell you some of the difficulties. First, you got to find a place to stay where the police won't come by and move you. Then you got to find a place to stay where you can be safe and maybe nobody won't bother you. Then you got to find a place to wash up. Then you got to find a place to where you're going to use the restroom. Then you got to find a place to figure out, what am I going to eat today? Then you got to find a place to say, hey, is it going to be cold tonight? Where can I get a blanket? Where I'm going to sleep? I'm going to be sleeping on the ground. Those are all things you got to figure out. And then now this person has to throw into the mix some young boys going to say they're intoxicated, come and beat me upside my head with a metal pole. Now I'm in the hospital. I don't know, because it's not in the STIPs. I don't know if he is suffering from brain damage right now, but I know he'll never be the same. And your excuse for this whole thing is, I'm with some friends that I really shouldn't be with, and they're really not true friends to me, and I'm drunk. So address those issues for the court, because to me, getting intoxicated, driving a vehicle and hit someone, you know, in your vehicle, you don't know you're really intoxicated. You just think you're a buzz. This is beating up some homeless people with a metal pole and a metal pipe, and they didn't do anything to you. They're just minding their business.
If I may, Your Honor, I want
Well,
to.
no, I want to hear his thought process. And here's the thing. I will tell you this, and I tell people this all the time, and I want you to know I'm serious when I tell you this. This is my thought process. But if what I'm saying is incorrect and you feel as though it's incorrect, tell me. I'm not going to hold that against you. I want this conversation because I'm trying to figure out your thought process about this. And the thought process that I'm so intoxicated, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not too intoxicated to tell this officer that I'm 15, which makes me a juvenile, so they got to call my parents. That's what I want to talk to you about, okay?
Yeah, and again, Judge, I'm going to let him answer the question.
Mhm.
But the one thing I will want to add, of everything you said, I agree with, but one thing.
Sure.
Not to disclose attorney-client privilege, but the one thing that Luis and I did speak about, that I was very adamant to him about, is I don't want you going into court and coming up with excuses.
Mhm.
I do want you to be honest with the judge and tell her the reasons, tell her what was going on.
Yep.
So while you're
That's what I wanna
characterizing
hear.
things one way,
Yep.
we're not here to create excuses.
Oh, no, I don't
This
think
is
it's
to
an
let you-
excuse. I understand that he's saying he's intoxicated. That's why he did this. Are you saying that if you were not intoxicated, you would not have done this? All right, so I understand that. So back to my thought process. What's going on?
That night, I remember the part leading up to it, which was going up to him. I thought that he was staring at me hard, and I just asked him. That's all I remember, is asking him something. And then after that point, I don't remember. But
So you thought he was
I-
staring at you?
yes, and then all my emotions, like I wasn't very good at sharing how I feel, and the emotions were bottled up.
So what were you so angry about? What emotions were bottled up?
At the time, I was failing a couple of classes
Okay.
in school, and I was very tired, going back and forth from my mom's house to my dad's house.
Okay.
They've been separated a very long time, and that night I was just remembering how it used to be, you know,
Mhm.
when they were together, and it just was hard growing up, going from one household to another every week. And I don't remember what happened after I went up to him and thought that he was staring at me. And I was thinking with my emotions instead of using my head, thinking properly.
All right, thank you for letting me know. All right, any other questions?
Not from the state judge.
Any-
Not for the defense.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to find you guilty. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. Take in consideration NIMAG number 760070. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be restitution, if any, to Andoni, Andoni Valadares, Jose Aguilar, and no contact with Adoni Valadares and Jose Aguilar. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, your plea bargain agreement was for a cap of 6 years in the prison silent. And I will tell you, I was at the 6 end, but I listened to you. And I understand your age. I understand the alcohol that was involved. I understand the influence that other people had on you. That's why I sentenced you to the minimum. But I have to also balance that with the fact that here you have someone who wasn't doing anything other than just living their life, and they're in the hospital unconscious, beaten with a metal pole. And I can assure you, I'm sure that was probably very painful for them. And then I don't know if they have brain damage or not, but when you couple that with the other friend who was with you, who then pointed a gun at somebody and then firing shots in the air, sure, that was very terrifying for them. So I understand that 2 years is a lot. You're young. You came in. I do appreciate your coming in. I do appreciate the improvements you made in your life, but sometimes there's punishment in rehabilitation. So you can still live your life. When you go to prison, don't become institutionalized, okay? All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
Can we have